Hi guys, my name is Alicia. I'm with the Zany Moment. So I have been guided probably for a while now to share a little bit about myself so you guys would know me. But I have always been um, kind of reserved and stuff and held myself back. But I feel like now is the time that I need to be more open about where I came from so that you guys can see the kind of person that I am. Okay, so let's start off. I grew up in a very Catholic family. It was traditional Catholic, and we wear veils and we speak Latin in church. So you have like this book, and on one side is Latin and one is English. My mom started taking us to that in 93, in 1990, when I think I was like 10, 13 years old. So anyways, I graduated from high school from an all-girls academy. The girls were up the hill, and the boys were down. But we weren't allowed to talk to the opposite sex until after graduation. If you got caught talking to them, you could get expelled from the school. So that was a big no-no. So one of my things with me is that, I miss my teenage years of being able to talk to men. I feel kind of, I don't know, it's kind of uncomfortable sometimes to be around men. I didn't have a prom, we didn't have homecoming, anything like that. I met my husband. He was an Army sergeant at the time, and he was stationed nearby. So anyways, he was still married, and I fell in love with him, and I was being me, because I was so young, I was naive. I got pregnant, and then we went off to Germany, and we got married in Denmark. Fast forward about, I don't know, maybe 7 years. I had another kid, and I was very unhappy. This is when I started probably having my first awakening. I started with depression, so I got on to medication for sleeping because I wasn't able to sleep. My ex-husband back then came back he did 2 tours in Kosovo and 1 in Iraq. And when he came back from Iraq, I think I was pretty much done. I was emotionally abused. He would always call me crazy. When I was pregnant with my oldest, and this is when he broke me down, I remember one time, and it was just all these little things that, that were abusive, that I didn't really think about it at the time. Like he would, if it was raining, and mind you, I was probably 7, 8 months pregnant. I was a balloon. I had gained 50 pounds. I was so close to being put on bed rest because I had gained so much weight. I couldn't find shoes that fit. Anytime I ate something, I would feel sick. I didn't eat anything, I was sick. I was miserable. And we went to what they call the PX, the exchange, because we were in Germany, to go shopping. And he would park the car like far away so that I would walk. And then one time it was raining, and he said, if I have to walk in the rain, so do you. I wasn't able to wear shoes at the time because my feet were so swollen. So I had these rubber shoes, these flip-flops, and I remember thinking that, it was August. It was kind of cold. The water was kind of cold because it was in Germany. And I remember thinking, this is miserable. I mean, one thing is to force him to make me walk so that, I can, for the baby's sake, and my health. And another thing is to force me to walk in the rain, where I can hurt myself because there was gushes of water coming through some parts, and I was basically barefooted. I had these slippers on, but my feet were bigger than the actual flip flops, so I could feel, the pain of the rocks, the concrete on, the sides of my feet. Anyways, that's the kind of abuse that I received. It was a lot of emotional, a lot of physical and sexual. So anyways, I lasted about 10 years, and then I went for divorce. Right before we went for a divorce, he always told me that if I tried to divorce him, that he would take the kids and he would make my life miserable. So I couldn't take it anymore. I had attempted suicide about 3 times. Every morning that I woke up, I wanted to kill myself. So I wanted a divorce, and he reminded me, he said, if you try to leave, I'll make sure you don't have the kids and that you suffer every single day of your life. Anyways, I did lose custody of my 2 oldest boys. And then I kind of moved on. I met a guy and we moved in together, and then I got pregnant with now my daughter, my youngest. And my ex would, even though we were going through the divorce process, he would terrorize me. Like, he would send me things just to make me freak out about stuff, and he would do it like 3 a.m. and things like that, and I was always on panic mode and things like that. So anyways, my ex and my daughter's dad at the time said, if you don't delete them, then we're going to break up. If you don't delete them, we're going to break up. Or if you keep letting him bother you, he's going to keep doing it. Anyways, it's kind of hard if you have a connection with kids with someone, just to let it go. So anyways, that caused a strain, and we ended up splitting up. And after we split up, I needed to get away. So my daughter and we came to Mexico with my mom. And things have been great. The Mexicans here have been very helpful and very supportive and things like that. So about 3 years ago, I started my spiritual journey. I had my awakening. I realized everything I went through was for a reason. And now I'm on my path of helping other people, helping other women. So I would really love to work with other women that have gone through abuse, have lost their kids, or suffered with addictions. At one point in my life, I had an addictions problem. I was in rehab with when I was pregnant with my daughter, because I couldn't stop drinking. So my mom put me in there. And later on, I got addicted to tramadol for back pain. And tramadol here in Mexico is not controlled. It's a substance you can just go buy over the counter, just like Tylenol. And at the time, I didn't think I was addicted. I just, I'm doing this because my back hurts. I either go through back pain or I take these pills. And then I noticed at one point that I was actually taking like 500, 800 milligrams of that stuff a day. And then when I read an article that's one of the drugs that kills people the most, that kind of stopped cold turkey. But the withdrawals were so severe that I went back on. So it was a struggle at the time, knowing something that's bad for you, but, you physically, mentally being addicted to something because it's just too painful just to, stop. It's not like a diet. You can't say, I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to quit eating, sugar. It's, you can suffer through not eating sugar and things like that. And, you eat other foods and stuff like that. But when you're withdrawing from tramadol or something like that, then it's a different story. Anyways, I think, and I'm going to say cancel afterwards, but I believe I've always had an addictive personality. Cancel. When I had my wisdom teeth pulled, they gave me codeine, and I couldn't stop taking it. I kept asking for more, and then my mouth hurt and stuff like that. And I did have general surgery during the time, so they did give me some, but it was addicting and stuff like that. So anyways, I am very guided to work with people that went through addictions and women that were in abusive relationships. And I want to empower myself by sharing my story and hoping that anybody watching this video is in for them and that they feel drawn to work with me for that. Okay, I had lost my train of thought, sorry. So what I want to do with this is I want to start a group, a support group, where we share stuff and things like that. So if you feel inclined to work with me, my name is Alicia, and I would be very happy to help you. I believe that with theta healing and the activations that I have, that a lot of the problems that we're going through can be overturned. One of the things is too that this caused me to have my spiritual awakening, so that in turn I was able to discover who I truly am, that I'm a starseed and that I'm here to help humanity. So without having this experience, you know, I would have never woken up. So, you know, in my line of work that I do is I remove the soul contract. And I had my soul contract removed, and I asked my guides about it, and they said, no, don't worry, that when you made your soul contract, you knew that you were going to discover a way to delete it once you had your awakening. So if you're going through a very hard time, then I would love to work with you. We can muscle test to find out what's in your soul contract, and then we would delete the negative aspects that you want to delete. And then that way you can start manifesting from your heart and not from fear. Remember that 90% of what we manifest is based on our subconscious beliefs. So a lot of times, even though we know something, we might not, it might not believe, it might conflict with the belief. In my private sessions that I do, you know, to show you guys how conflicting we can live in our minds, is I have you muscle test to say, I love myself, and then I have you guys muscle test that I hate myself. And 90% of the people will get a yes for both of those questions. So you're living in this world of chaos, manifesting things because you love yourself, but also manifesting things because you hate yourself. So it is time to remove these dual beliefs and just leave the positive one. So I hope you guys are encouraged by my words, and I hope to see you soon. Namaste.